He have his stepson all over the place at the work so he can take away money. Karen Chisholm again, $250,000. Yeah, carry Karen Chisholm go to Buster place, you know, watch it again. Karen Chisholm, his stepson, blend him $350,000 worth. And look at this now, Karen Chisholm again. Now, parish council election like come up in our room, I try to take away all our money, you know. So guess what he do again? He put Karen Chisholm here so again for $490,000, $500,000 again. People are fan of Karen Chisholm alone pick up over $5 to $7 million for the contracting work across Hanover. Karen Chisholm pick up almost $7 million over the years for his stepfather, Sheridan Worm Samuels. So you spend more than that, and all I put out telling you turn dirty, but only certain people pick up taxpayer money. When it thief up, Worm submit their name, then come collect a check and give me money. I just want the people I know something. Worm couldn't find somebody up and blame him for doing work. He couldn't find somebody at Hearten Court for doing work. I know my people. Morning once again. Or go down.
Alright, I guess you know hear it.
Yes, man, at that
anybody know about Hanover?
At that silver cat attack about the socialism. At that a socialism.
Oh,
and that is well done with Mark Gordon, yes?
Just quit it. It's not PNP man not attack. Like Ian Neil's that.
Me know if I hear is attacking a one man attack.
It sound like
both one down there.
It sound like
Craig Wood, man.
Huh?
Sound like Craig Wood.
No, sound like Craig Woods, man.
Remember, so you see him here. You see him here, film, brother. In best, he right hand. He right hand attack, you know. He right hand attack. What go on, you know. Like he right hand them gone over JLP, you know. And him attack.
You know what attack, but somebody a leak out what go on down there.
That sound like Ian Neil's.
Yeah, what you say, John?
You know what I do? DJ them like two packet and bounty killer where you say majority of them are PNP.
Look at the headphone and talking at the thing, no, man. How we are? Yeah.
No, you take off a speaker, brother.
Take off somewhere you have on, man, and talk naturally in the phone, man.
It's quitting.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you know.
Me I say it DJ them in like Super Cat them and Bounty Killer back in ideas. We always sing about sufferation. Where you tell me say they don't see the changes now. Even though you say majority of them are PNP. So that means that them not for Jamaica. Them just like them party and thing. Yeah.
You don't want to sing the song there again. It's a very
you don't ask Super Cat that Silver
Super Cat, man, a Silver Cat.
Silver Cat, yeah. We need to ask Silver Cat that, you know, but he run down. Because you say backlog get hard, you know, because Squitty when they come and chat them foolishness, we feel rub them hard, you know, because Jamaica and a party shot business, you know, Squitty.
Yes, I.
And a gimmicks and game run this is a good government.
Yeah, Lico John. Lico John come and I see him argument with Lico John attack, you know.
Yeah, I try to call him forward there and him not answer him, not want to come call.
He say me here, Lico John
having knowledge and the reason ability.
Me here, Lico John come for neighbor. And me I said to me, I said, neighbor, put me up. Let me ask him 2 questions. And he would put me on. He said, Jesus Christ, I'm going to ask him about Guava Road and my whole drive. And then me ask him, me start interview him.
Yeah, but I ask him about Mackay Lane where he come from. Because I'm born on Mackay Lane. I ask him if when him go around the what day for the same place stay for him born.
It's quick to realize that
nobody tell him to crack out him money because that crackhead that walk up and down.
No, he's not a crackhead, man.
It's quick
to realize. I know them, you know, my friend them, you know. When we go there, yeah.
I know my friend, but he used to there with my friend.
They not take crack, man.
Quit it. You realize that the broke DJ them all time broke DJ them and walk as support.
When last you see him?
Well, I'll Mr. Little John.
Mm-hmm.
Me see him in big and fat area.
Anyways, quit it.
Yes.
Listen up. We said yesterday, it's still Emancipation Day in Jamaica. Today is
Yeah,
still
man. The emancipation.
Now, 11:42. We have 18 minutes to close Emancipation Day.
Mm.
Now, Emancipation Day declaration came in precedes the whole Independence Day declaration. So the proclamation of Emancipation Day is a proclamation to announce the freedom of the abolishment of slavery in Jamaica. Right? So it was at that time slavery was abolished in Jamaica. And people were free. People were made into a free people. No slaves were no longer owned by any slave owners. So that was the Emancipation Day proclamation.
Mm.
And so people were free to go about their own life, free to do business, free to own lands, free to undertake their own lives, right?
Yeah.
But what we find, Squitty, is that after so many years of Emancipation Day proclamation, we realize that, like our great Bob Marley said, that we have not yet emancipated our minds from mental slavery.
Mm.
We are still living in a situation where we believe that we are still enslaved by the shackles of political gimmickry and political nonsense.
And political slavery.
And political slavery. Squitty, Harriet Tubman was a house slave in the United States. And while she worked as a house slave, she realized the injustice that was being done to her people. So she went ahead and she freed quite a few slaves in the United States, in the western coast of the southeastern coast of the United States. Specifically in Savannah, Georgia, where we had a big slave trade going on. And I think she freed over 2,000 slaves at that time. Out of 2,000 slaves, only 350 slaves actually went free. I leave the plantation, right? Because they were freed and only 250 actually left the plantation. All right. So somebody asked her after a while, why did you not free more slaves? Why did you only 250?
Barry, hold on there. Squitty.
Yeah.
Get to Jimmy box. I go jump out there because I dey on the work, but I go and listen to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Respect.
Right. So she said, I freed over 2,000 slaves. So why didn't she said only 250 of the 2,000 slaves that were freed actually decided to leave the plantation? They were freed, but because they were so conditioned to being a slave, they did not actually know what freedom was. And hence, they did not actually take up the freedom offer that they got. And that is what we're seeing in Jamaica right now, stupid. Where we have been under bondage for the last 22 and a half years prior to the last 9. Where we were enslaved in economic degradation, the poverty, high interest rate, poor employment opportunities, poor education, poor transportation, poor management of the economy. We were enslaved for so long by the People's National Party. And now we are seeing an opportunity where the government has actually freed us from those mental degradation, the economic slavery, the poverty, the unemployment, the poor infrastructure. We are free. And we are seeing the developments with it. But guess what happened? Only some people have actually taken up the opportunity to be free. And you still find some people stupid. While they see all this, the gates open to get out of poverty, to have good roads, to have good education, to live in a country that is progressing, they are still telling you that they are still enslaved by saying nothing is happening in the country. Pretty, we have not yet emancipated ourselves from mental slavery, or from the slavery of the PNP. And hence you see the PNP going around supporting Mark Gole and his team, alternative to what currently is happening in Jamaica. And it is sad that on this day, Emancipation Day, when we see the level of emancipation that is taking place in Jamaica, you have some people coming here to be telling us about all of the nonsense that the People's National Party is promising. Pretty, I am I am happy that quite a few Jamaicans have decided to emancipate themselves and will be supporting Jamaica Labour Party for a third term. Because we will not go back to slavery, of economic deprivation, of poor development, of unemployment, of high interest rate, right? Of FinSA, of scandals after scandals, and aligning some people pocket with money. We will not go back to that kind of mental slavery. And we have chosen to be emancipated from all of that. And that is why I myself have chosen the Jamaica Labour Party, and I have chosen Jamaica. And Spitty, as long as breath is in my body and the opportunity presents itself, I will be going back to Jamaica to vote so that I can be on the right side of history. And I encourage all of us who are listening and have the opportunity so to do, to go back. And those who are in Jamaica, tell your neighbors, tell your friends that you are free, you have been emancipated, and you have chosen Jamaica, and you have chosen Jamaica Labour Party to lead us on to the road of prosperity. And I'll land here.
Alright,
Big up yourself, Squiddy, big up yourself.
Next time.
Boy, it's good.
Attack next time.
Yeah, man, big up yourself. I was listening on the discussion between you and is it Silver Cat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but G-Keeper whipped him badly. He had to run off the program, you know? But let me tell you, though, this idea of rent to own is not new. You know, this is something that we have tried before, and it has failed. You know, I don't know, Squiddy, if you know that in the 1960s, that there was an agency of the government that rented houses. You know those houses down there in Ream and those places?
Mm.
You know, yes, you know, many of those houses were controlled by the government. They were government houses, and those houses were rented to individuals. Those individuals were supposed to pay. Some were rent to own, some of them were just rented to individuals. What happened? People stopped paying their rent. Those houses fell into disrepair. And if you go back there today, you can see the remnants of it. In Torrington Park, recently in the news, there was one of those particular houses where a whole stairs, Mark Golden's constituency, a whole stairs was broken down. He was complaining about it, how this whole place was falling apart. So that's the problem you're gonna run into when you get into a rent-to-own situation. Because as the young lady asked, when this house fall into disrepair, who is gonna repair it? And when tenants stop paying, what do you think they're gonna do when they're leaving the house? They're gonna tear it up, and then the government will have to step in and repair it. So what the PNP is doing is that they're trying, you know, to find a policy that will attract the electorate. You remember the JLP came up with 1.5, and it was so attractive. A lot of people went out and voted for the JLP. They are trying now to find something that hopefully the electorate can latch on to and go out there and put them into office. But when you
something like go to half a trigger wipe car glass.
Like go to Harvard trigger wipe. Have you ever seen anything so ridiculous? You know, such gimmick nonsense. Yeah, man, I feel so too, because you know I noticed that mentally he has been declining over the years. He has not been the same person. But let me just say this: is that when you strip away and look at this whole rent to own thing, you know, any sense sensible individual would realize it's all nonsense. First, to begin with, you're gonna have to find houses to rent. You're gonna have to build them somewhere. So Mark Golding is gonna, within his first term, build out those houses. Hmm? And then the question is gonna be asked: are you gonna build them in neutral areas? Where are
In
you
the
gonna?
swamp,
Where are
sir.
you
In
gonna?
the swamp. In the swamp. In the swamp.
In the swamps. Yes, he told me.
Yes, yes.
Yes, in the swamps. You know, are you gonna build them in swamps? You know, like we had in Operation Pride, where houses were built in riverbeds. Do you remember those? Which cost the taxpayer billions of dollars, which we didn't recoup. So these are questions that people need to ask. But as far as I'm concerned, all of that is just a trick. All of that is just a mirage placed before the people's eyes and hoping that they'll latch on to it and vote for it. Another thing that Silvercat said that the PNP is for the poor people. I don't think Silvercat understands the history of the two political parties. The two political parties in Jamaica, one was born out of the working class, and one was born out of classism, out of what was called the drum blair class, you know. And the JLP was born out of the working class. Hence, we were called dirty labor. Our leader was classed as being somebody who couldn't read. You remember they said that about Buster? He couldn't read.
Yeah.
And yes, and
That wasn't true, you know.
No, it wasn't true. But because they were a part of the Drumblair class, the PNP party, the Drumblair class, it was for the higher class of people.
Yeah, and them was the higher class of people.
Yeah, he doesn't understand the history of the brown skinned man. Yes, that's what they were. It was Bustamante who was there rubbing shoulders with the working class, with those cane field workers, with those dock workers. He was the man who was there with the people who couldn't read and couldn't write. And he was the one who was there advocating for them. Right? And while these people were classing us as dirty labor, right?
The people who work when they might be gully them, they call them gully government.
Gully government, yes, gully government. And it was Bustamante. You know, I'm gonna tell you one story. There is this guy from Isaac Barron. He's from St. Thomas. He was a member of parliament during the 1960s. You know who Isaac Barron was? Isaac Barron was a truck driver. A mere truck driver. And the PNP at the time was cussing how Bustamante could give a truck driver a ministerial position. Isaac Barron went on to create the NIS, one of the most fundamental programs we have had coming out of the 1960s. So you see, their idea that this political party is for them, it's not really true. They don't understand. And that is why when you get a constituency like South St. Andrew or Southwest St. Andrew, you look at the difficulties that the people they are facing economically, socially, even though they have been loyal to the People's National Party for years. And the People's National Party has been in government for years, 18 and a half unbroken years. And they have not rewarded the loyalty of those people. Those people are living in...
Most of them are in a political slavery, you know.
Yes, they are. So they are not for poor people. They are not the party that bring up poor people. And I want to make one final point before I yield to somebody. If you juxtapose that against a Siaga who goes down into Bakawal and transform that entire community, that is a man who understands that he's a laborer, who understands that you have to pull people up and bring them up. You look at a man who goes out on a dump, sees a little boy, motherless, takes him into his home and adopts him as his son. Where have you heard any political leader in the PNP doing that? You have never seen that. Who did Michael Manley adopt from the poor class, the poor working class, or Porsche or PJ party? So no, this is Eddie Siago went in, took a young man who was motherless and took him in and raised him as his own child, as his own. So and he has reformed an entire community and pulled these people up and giving them privilege. They're more lawyers and doctors and people with great profession who rose up out of West Kingston. So they don't understand what socialism is. If they're gonna say that the PNP is for socialism and for poor people, the PNP has never been for poor people. What the PNP has done, the PNP has tricked the poor people into believing that they are for them.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning. And all you have to do.
What happened to that young man, Christopher?
Who? Okay. Oh yeah, he's still alive. The last time papers where he was appealing for either a kidney or something to that effect. He had some kidney disease, but I think he's still around.
Why, would definitely need to find him and bring him back to the society, make people understand. And
Yeah.
say, well, this young boy was from the ghetto, born and bred in a you know him, Squitty.
Who's that?
The boy that Mr. Siaka take back from the.
Oh, yeah, me about him, but me don't know him.
If you get pictures from Mr. Siaga back in the days, those postcards, he was very much a part of the family picture. But Mr. Siaga is a send out.
Yeah, but that's, that's why, people always name their
Hold on, the
company.
outlaw. You did done Dexton?
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So just one final point and what? Yeah, I'm almost.
Hold on, outlaw.
So when you look, all you have to do is
Who might
just
make it nicer?
you have to just take a look at the communities that have been loyal to the PNP. Look at how they have treated those communities, those constituencies: Central Kingston, Southeast St. Andrew, Southwest St. Andrew, South St. Andrew, and just look at, you know what? Southwest St. Andrew was the most JLP constituency in Kingston and St. Andrew. A lot of people don't know that it was a more JLP constituency than West Kingston. You know, a lot of people didn't know that DC Tavares, you will hear about him, right? He was a member of parliament there, right?
Tavares Garden.
Yeah, Tavares Garden, yeah, it was named after him. And let me tell you something. That constituency was was not a inner city constituency. I'm talking about Portia's constituency. It wasn't labeled an inner city constituency. It was a middle class constituency. When Portia got it, they turned it into what it is today. Majestic Garden. All of those areas, they were middle class communities.
That's why I name Majestic Garden.
Thank you very much. That's why I got the name Majestic Garden. So those people don't know the history. You understand me? So, and in those days, we had communities called towns, Alman Town, Admiral Town, Whitfield Town. Those were middle class communities. And the PNP went into those constituencies to control them, and they destroyed it, right? And talking about they love the poor. They love to keep people poor because it is easier to control the poor. All right? I yield to the other person.
All right, sir. Soldier, look at your soldier and then outlaw.
Alright, good night everyone. Barry, big up yourself, Squitty, G-Keeper.
Big up.
Jamaica 87. Denton, big up on yourself, outlaw. You know me and say, I never normally take on this topic, but I only help to emancipate myself while I'm discussing this matter, because what I would have realized is that they say it's Emancipation Day, closing out today. But I want to ask the PNP people if they think they are really emancipated. Reason being, they have as their leader a farmer, slave owner, grandson, trying to run this country. And if you're going to talk about emancipation, we have to bring it up, whether we like it or not. It is part of our history, a very grievous part of our history. Part of our history that has, it has done so much damage to us as black people, as a nation, across the world, that we can't forget it. And those who forget their history don't know where they're going. And we have to look into it. Is this what we really want to go back to? Is this, after 400 years, is this what we want to go back to? You understand me? Because it's not a little thing, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. Your foreparents used to slave us, and today we celebrate Emancipation Day. But are the people who is supporting PNP and Mark Bowling emancipated? I doubt that.
Tap up the screen, guys. Tap up the screen.
I very much doubt that. And I'm asking them to look into themselves. If they think they are free today looking to have someone who foreparents would have slaved us to lead us again. You know, and put color and everything aside, and I'm just going right down that track. Is it right? Or should we even be considering such a move after what our foreparents would have suffered for so many years? You understand, Mr. T? Is it that something we should have really be looking back to go to? Because his history cannot rub out. And we would have suffered, raped, lynched, all kind of things under his foreparents' hand. Is it that where we want to go? Are we really emancipated, Jamaica? Are we really emancipated? Jamaican, ask yourself. Are we really emancipated? Would